Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope that everyone is having a good night. We're gonna do another talk stream today. I do have a couple of specific topics that I do want to talk about, as well as if there is any that you guys want me to talk about. I do want to talk about the arson attack on Kyoto Animations, because I did not do a video on that, but I did think that we could talk about it for a couple of minutes just to bring a little bit more awareness to it. I do want to touch on Phase 4 of Marvel. I obviously did yesterday a video on kind of the idea of female Thor and what was going on with that, but I do want to talk about the other movies and also TV shows, because I felt as though there are a couple of things that I am slightly interested in and I want to get everyone else's opinion on it. I also want to talk about another Blizzard co-founder leaving the company, which it's a second in a couple of months. That audio, though, is there something wrong with the audio? I don't know if there is. It's a second. I don't think there's any problems with the audio. I also want to talk about the Nintendo Switch revisions. Also, some news about a new Pokemon game. It's not good news, but we're still going to talk about it. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing good. Also, I hope the audio is fine. Seems a little high to me. Let me check. Is that any better? I don't want to make it too low, but I don't want to have it too high, so hopefully that is better. Let me see. Yeah, it seems okay, but you guys will have to let me know. So how is everyone doing tonight? I hope that you guys are doing well. So I guess what we will start out with is talking about Kyoto Animations. Now, I didn't talk about this at the beginning when it originally happened, just because there's so many people talking about it, but I just wanted more details and everything, and I was hoping more would come out, and some have come out, but we're just going to start off with the first article. It is a Niche Gamer article. So we did find out that 34 people right now, that is what the death toll is at, did die from this, which is awful. It is sad. It is a horrific accident, or it wasn't an accident, a horrific tragedy, I should say. And it's just so heartbreaking to hear about. It says, we've learned some tragic news. Kyoto Animation Studio 1 has been set on fire, and many people are dead, injured, or missing. I don't think there's any more people missing from what they've said, because they were able to identify most of the people, but I'm not sure. It did only happen a couple of days ago, so I'm not exactly sure yet, but it continues on with, at the time of writing, at least 30 are injured. Yes, there are many injured. One or more people are dead, and then they do update it, because there are in total 34 dead at this point. It says NHK has released the name of suspected arsonist at the Kyoto Animation attack. The murderer's name, they continue on, 41 years of age and a resident. One of the hospitalized victims had died of their injuries, raising the death toll to 34 deaths. And it says the reason that we know of right now is Yahoo Japan has reported that the suspect has revealed his motives. As far as we know, there's been small statements made by the animation studio and whatnot, but we really do not know a ton of details regarding it. They've just said thank you guys all so much for your support and everything. But they said claiming Kyoto Animation plagiarized his idea for a novel, so I decided to set their building on fire. That is awful. It is disgusting that someone would kill all of these people and destroy who knows how many projects, because they're saying, or he is saying, that they plagiarized his idea for a novel. Now, of course, the head of the studio said this is not true, everything like that, which we really do not know, because of course they are not going to come out and say something like that, but just the logic behind, oh, they plagiarized an idea I had, so I'm going to set their building on fire while everyone's at work. Ultimately knowing that I am going to kill people is devastating and awful. It's heartbreaking. Just got here who killed who. This was a couple of days ago, the arson attack on the Kyoto Animation studio. 34 people unfortunately had died from it, and there are many, many injured. But practically the suspect went into the building, like mid-workday, and doused the place in like a fire starter in a sense, and just lit the building on fire. And they did say that everything that was there is done. All of the paper documents, all of the records, and all of the computer, details and computer backups were destroyed in the fire. So we do not know how much was really destroyed, because I'm sure that they uploaded it to a database, and this was their main headquarters. They do have other headquarters. I'm not sure where exactly. Obviously, it doesn't particularly matter, but none of those places were obviously attacked. But everything that they had there was completely and utterly destroyed. There was nothing saved from that building. I mean, as you can see, this is one building the day that it happened. This is the building the day that it happened, and they said there was nothing that they were able to salvage. So it's heartbreaking and very, very sad to hear. Just who knows how many months and even years of work was there that was destroyed. So many people's lives have a rift in them now because of this situation. I mean, so many people that are out of jobs now, so many people that are unfortunately dead and injured. It's just such a sad story to hear. And unfortunately, I do not know the requirements for buildings in Japan. I did try to look into it a little bit, but obviously it's very hard to kind of find more information on this. But as someone pointed out in the comments, the building had no fire escape. It had no active sprinklers. It had no fire hydrants on either side of the building. It had no fire shutters. I mean, they had no protection for people that were there. They only had two doors, a front entrance and a back entrance, which were both on the first floor. They were both on the first floor, and he started the fire on the first floor. He walked in, started screaming and everything, and so he blocked both of the entrances with the fire. I don't know how, building regulations work in Japan. It's very hard to kind of find information on that, and I wasn't really able to find a ton on it. Grim makes the point that it was an out-of-date building. Still, a building that was made without a fire escape. They've been in this building for at least 20 years now. This animation studio has been there, so for at least 20 years, there was never anything put into the building like a fire escape, no fire hydrant. So obviously this is not like a new issue. Like, obviously the sprinklers were broken, the sprinklers were off, they were not working, which is something that should have been changed, fucking obviously. But no fire escape, no sprinklers, no fire hydrants, no fire shutters. This would be a building violation anywhere, but apparently it was acceptable in Japan for some reason. No clue. Someone even commented, strange, I can't piss at work without passing at least 3 exit doors and a few more emergency exits. It's true. So many buildings have multiple fire exits and ways out of the building, so in case something awful like this happens. It says, yet Japan still has office buildings with one door, no way up off the upper floors, much less the roof. This building had very, very little in terms of protection for people. It's baffling to see how this happened, because you have to consider, if this building had proper, protection in case of a fire or anything like that, this wouldn't, I don't want to say this wouldn't have been, an issue or anything, but obviously this could have saved people's lives. This possibly could have, if they had actually had proper things in place for employees and for just the general safety of people. Hey, Aloe Vera, what I missed? We were talking about the Kyoto Animation Studios that left 34 dead, and we were talking about how the building had no fire escape, no sprinklers, no fire hydrants, no fire shutters, nothing. It had nothing like that. The windows on the higher floors did not even have any, like, emergency ladders or anything. Usually there's, like, an emergency rope ladder at the top of every large office building, and this is normal in Japan, unfortunately. This is not something that is, out of the ordinary. I guess a lot of buildings in Japan do not require any of these things, especially office buildings, so they just... As long as the building has a bare minimum of, 2 exits maybe, that's perfectly fine. I just do not, I just think that so many lives could have been saved if they, had their codes up to standards and stuff. They didn't make a statement on the building yet, but I really hope that they do. I hope that they address this and tell us why their building was like that. This is people's lives and things gone that cannot be replaced. But looking at the comments, people are just upset by it, obviously. I mean, this is one of the worst arson crimes to happen in Japan, I think that they said in the past 20 or 30 years, so it is huge to consider that one person did this. It wasn't even multiple people, because the fire started so fast. They were thinking, at the beginning, the authorities were thinking maybe it was multiple people, maybe, no. There was one single person. It's very, it's just, it's very heartbreaking that, there's not a lot that could have been done on the part of the people that were there, because there was no way to protect themselves or anything. Especially, when you were on the higher floor, they blocked the lower floor. I mean, just, it's heartbreaking to hear. I roll my eyes when doing safety training courses at work, but that's in part because most of the stuff I see is common sense. It seems like this stuff needs to be taught / enforced over there. Definitely, a lot of people go to work and they think that it's silly because you have to do it whatever, however often your work wants you to do it, once every month, once every couple of months, and, in a way, when you're going to, like, school and everything, it's seen as silly and finding the fire escapes and everything, but things like that just need to be enforced in different places, and Japan, unfortunately, just does not have a lot of protection for people that are in large buildings like this, so it's very sad to hear. I did want to touch on that a little bit, just to, because I didn't do a video on it and everything. But yeah, the next thing that I actually wanted to talk about is a little bit less depressing, a little bit less sad. So Japan does have specific standards, but it's very hard to find information on what their standards actually are. To be honest, I did try to look for a while. A lot of people haven't talked about them. Who really knows what standards, what their building was doing right in the standards? Because a lot of things like fire hydrants not being around the buildings, you have to consider that's not something new. Like, yes, the sprinklers and the emergency, water system like that should have been intact, but who knows if that's been broken for a long time or whatnot. No OSHA in Japan? Oh, okay. It's always good to inform the ignorant, and you'll never know when they're among you. Fair enough. Real shame what happened there. My heart goes out to them. Yeah, very sad. Very sad. Fortunately, that's all that we really know at this point. I am not sure what else, what other statements they will make about it in the near future, if they will even make any more statements about it for right now. But the man that did this is in custody. It's just heartbreaking. All those people, unfortunately, passing away, and all over someone saying that they plagiarized his work. And he never worked there or anything, from what I've seen, or what I saw online at least. So he was just someone that believed they plagiarized one of his novels, and there's no proof of that right now. But even if there was proof, that's not okay for killing 34 people. Alright, we are going to change topics. Very sad topic, depressing topic. This isn't much better of a topic, but it is interesting to talk about. Another Blizzard co-founder has left the company. So this is kind of on the heels of Mike Morhaime. Mike Morhaime actually left the very end of last year. So Frank Pierce, one of Blizzard Entertainment's 3 co-founders, has announced his departure from the studio, and he actually announced this, I think this was yesterday. Which he's been the company obviously since the beginning. But yeah, Mike Morhaime actually left last year, and he didn't really give a good reason why. A lot of people believe that these people are leaving because of, the changes in the company. I mean, even we look at Blizzard and Activision and everything like that, and the company's been very wishy-washy in the past couple of years, and a lot of employees obviously have gone through, mass layoffs, but also people just leaving because they said, because people are saying, oh, there's underpaying, there's gender gaps, even though, who really knows that? Well, that all was proven false. Just multiple reasons, and we're seeing yet another co-founder leaving. The article says, Blizzard Entertainment co-founder Frank Pierce has left the company after 28 years, marking the latest high-profile departure from the Activision-owned studio. Yeah, and it was very sudden, all of a sudden. It wasn't, he hasn't talked about it. It's the same with Mike Morhaime. Mike Morhaime did not, talk about maybe leaving or doing something different. Again, just, someone leaving a company yet again. It says he announced the move via a blog post on Friday, writing that the time has come for me to step away from Blizzard and pass the torch to the next generation of leaders. What does that mean, the next generation of leaders? I think that, as the years are going on, I feel like what they wanted for Blizzard was the case. And, Blizzard obviously became one of the best gaming companies, you could say. But they, over the past few years, just have taken a lot of heat for a lot of just random things. They've been in the negative press a lot. They've been in the public eye a lot. And they're not obviously the worst company. They have not gotten so much negative press. But you've definitely seen after they, joined with Activision, that everything that they were doing was starting to change. The way that they were monetizing games, the way that they were creating games, the way that they were treating employees, it all just changed. And, unfortunately, the Activision thing is not going away anytime soon. This is the way that it is going to be, so I suppose these people just are kind of done with it. It says Blizzard Entertainment was founded in 1991 by the 3 of them. Morhaime departed in 2018. While Adam remains with the company as senior VP. Fair enough. He previously departed for more than a decade before returning in 2016, which is fairly interesting because the only co-founder that's there now is the one that actually had left and came back. I mean, that's not completely abnormal when it comes to companies, obviously, but still. Interesting. Pierce is the latest high-profile employee to leave the Overwatch and World of Warcraft developer in recent months. Yep, Overwatch League Commissioner Nate Nanzer departed in May before joining Epic Games, while Global Esports Director Kim Fawn left in June. I mean, so many high-profile names at Blizzard just have decided to leave, and yes, obviously they get replaced. Someone is doing their job now, but yeah, I would tend to lean that Activision wanted him out. I mean, Activision obviously wanted both of these co-founders out, and now there's only one co-founder left. Who knows how long he will stay for. He could be one of the only ones that really stays. He hasn't made a statement on it, obviously. The last co-founder that is left, but it's just interesting that all of a sudden, these people are just kind of leaving. It says in February, Activision Blizzard announced during its quarter 4 2018 earnings that it would lay off 800 employees, which also is something to bring up because they laid off those 800 employees back in February, and about last month, I believe it was, Blizzard actually started rehiring all of those positions. They started rehiring all of those positions that they let go, all of the community managers and team leaders and everything, so that's also something. They're so like, I don't want to say confused as to what they are doing, but they have made so many bad choices that they regret, and they even say maybe this wasn't the best idea. When they laid off all those people, they said maybe this wasn't the best idea, and now we see them hiring all those positions back. And the article just ends with, at the time, Blizzard Entertainment President J. Allen Brack said that the studio would reduce non-development positions in North America and regional offices. Activision Blizzard's quarter 1 2019 earnings exceeded outlook, with the company citing esports as a revenue driver. And I mean, they do have a lot of games now at this point that are in the esports scene. I mean, it's great for them that, in a sense, their company is doing good, but it's just interesting to see all of these large names leaving. And they don't really make statements on it, obviously. They're not going to bash the company that they created. That's not what they intend to do. But I wonder if we'll ever really get a reason. Do you think Blizzard is on a permanent decline? I mean, sales-wise, the past, 2 years, they've been doing fantastic. It's some of their best years ever. But I do think that things like this and moves like this, all of these people leaving is going to hurt the company. I do ultimately think that. I understand that the company still has great people in it. It still has fantastic people, in it and part of it, but I just do not think that these are the right steps. I think that it is going to bite them at the ass, in the ass at some point, I suppose we'll have to see. Super secret conspiracy, Microsoft to buy CD Projekt Red /GOG. Say Tony said it. I definitely don't think they're looking to buy CD Projekt Red or GOG. That would be interesting. Tony, shame on you for starting such rumors. Yeah, right? I don't think that's necessarily true. But I think it would be interesting. But I really like CD Projekt Red not being part of Microsoft. What did I do now? Grim starting rumors about you. Everything? Yeah, right? So yeah, obviously he made a very generic post saying that he was leaving the company and that, it's amazing what he started and what he co-founded and everything, but it was just his time to go. But I suppose we will see what does come next for him, if he will not just stick with the industry, but what he is going to do and where he is going to go. I think that it would be freaking hilarious if he went somewhere like Epic or something, because that's what a lot of these people are doing. I mean, the Overwatch League commissioner had left Blizzard to go to Epic Games, so I think that it'd be funny if, he went to another company that is one of their rivals. I think that would be funny. Obviously, he's going to stay in the same, world of what he's done for work his whole life and like this, but I suppose only time will tell, and then we will see what ends up happening with him. Oh, this is something that is small, that was just announced. But today, I had talked about Tencent in the newest video. Tencent Pictures changing and censoring Maverick's jacket in Top Gun Maverick. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It was a very in-detail video. But Tencent actually announced that this was announced an hour ago, that they are developing a new Pokemon game. We obviously know very little about it. The article just reads, Tencent is developing a new Pokemon game. Chinese tech and media company Tencent have announced that they are working on an unnamed Pokemon title. And obviously it says the game is specifically being developed by Tencent's TIMI Studio Group. They have done Arena of Valor, the mobile versions of PUBG, in Call of Duty. The project will also be an original game, but that is all of the information that we know on it. We know nothing else. But, ooh, that's going to be interesting to hear more about. What do you guys think about that? Will the game cost 10 cents? Maybe. It'll probably be filled with microtransactions, though. As most new games are at this point. I mean, it's cool that they're making another Pokemon game. I like Pokemon games. But why did Nintendo go to Tencent? We don't know. We have no clue. And we really won't have another clue probably for a very long time. There's nothing else that there's announced with it, and there probably won't be for a very, very, very long time. It's probably going to be at least a year before we hear anything else about it, because, I mean, this was just announced, so they're just starting it. But that's definitely interesting. I mean, yeah, in the end, it does lead up to money. Someone made a comment on this article saying, can we go back to when all of the games were banned in China so we don't have to deal with this? I mean, yeah, right? Because then companies won't be going to other Chinese companies. So obviously, it's nothing that we have a lot of detail on, but I still thought I would mention it. Keep it in the back of our head. Sword and Shield look meh, not just because the meager roster for the lack of national decks. I am, for the first time, not very excited for a Pokemon game. Sword and Shield seem okay, but I feel like at this point we've seen so many, I don't want to say copy and paste Pokemon games, but so many games that bring nothing new to the table. And I'm not saying that this game will be, Sword and Shield will be bad. I just feel like as the years go on, they're slowly running out of ideas, which is a shame. I say real Pokemon fans should not support any of the newer games. I mean, it's okay to support the games if you are a big fan of them. When you are a fan of a franchise, you're obviously going to support as many games as you can from, the companies and developers and whatnot. That do have to do with the franchise that you like. I wouldn't tell anyone not to support a game if they want to support it. But a lot of people need to be more understanding as to what these companies are doing and how they're acting. I just received word that Tencent Pokemon game will be China exclusive, not a rumor. I'll believe it when I see it, or when I see, actual confirmation of that. But interesting to keep that in mind. Game Freak is dropping the ball, probably because Nintendo sees the money in mobile and microtransactions because of Go. Well, exactly. Everything is about money, and that's not... I'm not going to say that's bad. That's the way that, it is. That's the way that this industry is. It's the way that every industry is. But people need to be more aware of these companies, and what they do and how they affect us. Not enough people understand, what these companies, how these companies are affecting what we see, what we don't see, even if we are not getting the brunt of the censorship. We are still getting a lot of censorship, and they need to understand how these companies work, that they are only in it for the money, that they do not actually care about consumers and what the consumers want. And I just feel like people need to be more aware of what they're buying and who they're buying it from. The Tencent game is going to be Chinese Pokemon Go because Google is banned from China. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see more information on. No, never, not when it's become trash, and let them know their behavior is not okay. It's such a huge franchise and they do not even keep up with the latest tech. Doesn't even look good, not even close to their competitors. Yeah, that's fair. Game Freak is really pushing the experience versus the vibrance of the 800 plus Pokemon when they need to be pushing both in equal measure. I do agree with that. I do think that they need to focus more on both, in a sense. You can't just focus on one thing over another, and that's something that we see a lot in games that, you know, does kind of ruin a lot of games, is they're always so focused on something that they feel has more priority over another thing, and then it comes around to bite them in the ass, and players want both. We want an even game. We want a game that brings many things to the table, and that just is something that companies need to consider. I don't know. I don't want to say these companies are doing a bad job and they don't understand the market or they don't understand what they're doing, because obviously they do. They just really need to think about what they're doing, in a sense, and stop pushing out shit products. And yes, China does have their own search engines. Yeah, Google just shut down their China browser. Vera, please do not support Pokemon and let, okay. I still I'm not going to say I'm going to stop supporting specific games, or specific franchises, because I do think that companies can redeem themselves. I do think that bad franchises can redeem themselves. I've always said that. I'm always someone that keeps an open mind, because ultimately I do think that everyone can redeem themselves in a sense. But, you know, some companies do not deserve to be redeemed, and some companies just continue to go down the awful rabbit hole. Yeah, that was a good try. Anyway, let us talk about Phase 4 of Marvel. Now, obviously, yesterday, I did a video talking about female Thor, and discussing Jane Foster in the MCU. How in Love and Thunder, Jane Foster / Natalie Portman will be playing a female version of Thor, we'll say. And I voiced my thoughts on that because a lot of people did not know that she was already an established character in the comic series. She has been around for a couple of years now, and even before that she had one appearance. Very short appearance, though. And I did discuss how Marvel has been kind of going the more diverse route. But I wanted to talk about the rest of the movies and TV series that were announced, because I'm curious to see what you guys think of all of this, what you guys think about Marvel and what they're doing. Because even though I have not enjoyed some of their new movies and how Marvel has been holding themselves, I am still excited slightly for a couple of these movies, and I am optimistic about Phase 4 of Marvel, the cinematic universe, and what they're going to do for the cinematic universe, because I love watching, you know, superhero movies, and I love seeing these comic book characters. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of talk about my thoughts on the others. I'm done with Marvel. Endgame was the last MCU movie that I'm experiencing. When it came out, I talked to you guys about it in streams. I didn't love Endgame. I thought Endgame was okay, but I definitely did not think that it was amazing. I definitely think that there are better movies, but I do enjoy a lot of the characters that, you know, have been around. Obviously, I think many people do. Iron Man, Thor, all of those characters. But I'm not loving what Marvel is doing now, and that is pushing the diversity card. And it's not just Marvel that's doing it, obviously. So many companies now, especially in media, are kind of pushing that diversity card and everything. And, I don't like that. Because a lot of the time, it's just to push a narrative, and it doesn't actually have to do with the story at all. Which is, to me, dumb. I don't care if, there's female characters or, gay characters, whatever, whoever, different racial characters, whatever, as long as it has to pertain to the story. But a lot of the time now, they are just doing all of this to try to add more narratives to their stories, and I don't like that. Did anyone see the Endgame re-release? I did not, because why would I? I didn't mind the general theme that they were going for Endgame. My problem with Endgame was how long it was. It was very long and very drawn out, and they tried to pull on your emotions with the movie, and yes, I understand why they did that. Because it was the last phase in phase 3, but I just didn't like that. I haven't touched a comic book since Bionicles were a thing. I stopped collecting comics a little while ago, when a lot of this stuff started happening, but I did collect comics for a long time, and I still do. Read comics and whatnot. But starting off with the films that they are doing, I'm not going to go in release date order like of the TV and the films. I'm just going to go down the list. First film is Black Widow. Now this is set between, I believe that they said Civil War and Infinity War. Not interested. She, obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen any of the movies, she's dead. She is gone. She was never a character to me that had a specific, great quality to her. Now, I do like, the actress that plays her. She's not a bad actress, and she does play Black Widow, or Natasha, very well. She plays her good. She is just a character to me that, in my opinion, I could give a shit less about. She is just a very generic feeling character. I'm gonna be honest, I feel the same way with Hawkeye. They are just okay characters in a great universe. They are ordinary characters in an extraordinary universe. Why should I care about watching a Black Widow movie when I could be watching the fucking God of Thunder, when I could be watching, the God of Mischief, when I could be watching Doctor Strange? Why do I care about Black Widow? An agent that wears wigs, short black cocktail dresses, and shoots people. We have enough of those type of movies. We've seen enough of it. I don't like Black Widow. I'm not excited for this movie. It will be a movie that I will not watch in theaters. The next one is Eternals. I am very interested in the Eternals. I don't think we know when it takes place or anything. Upcoming superhero film based on the Marvel Comics, 25th installment. Yeah, we really know nothing about it, besides, obviously, everyone that is cast as the Eternals. So the cast of it does look pretty good. We have Angelina Jolie, great actress. Richard Madden, great actor. I mean, we have an okay base for it. Now, we don't know when this is going to take place. We don't know the locations or anything. Obviously, there's going to be Celestials and humans and the Eternals and stuff. So I don't have a lot to say about that. But the idea of it is a really cool concept, and I am fairly excited for it. I am curious to see what they do with that. That is actually a movie I expected them to have in Phase 3 that they did not, or, to touch on the characters more. but it doesn't sound bad. Vera likes the Eternals. I knew she was on Bolas's side. I do. I am extremely excited to see what they do with it. Eternals is a good comic book, but I'm scared, since they said they were going to add Hercules in it. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens there. Next is The Legend of the Ten Rings. I don't care that much. I honestly not that excited. I don't think we know the actors in it or anything, so we really don't know a lot about it. Okay, so we do know two of the actors. I'm just, another martial arts type of film. I'm not that excited for it. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be a bad movie. Obviously, when I'm talking about all of these thoughts, I am just basing them off of the characters that we know, not what they will do with those characters in the stories that they put these characters in. We really don't know a lot about these things, but I'm very excited for it. Iron Fist replacement, exactly. I just feel like so many of these characters like that, why not put, I don't want to say cooler characters, but cooler characters in. Same with Black Widow. Why do we care about Black Widow? She's gone. She's dead. Why do we care about, it's not even an origin story, it's like before one movie, but after another, so like the middle part? Like, what is she going to be doing that whole time? Like, finding some Avengers and maybe, I don't know, hanging out with them, getting a cocktail in her little cocktail dress? Not excited. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So excited. I love Doctor Strange. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's because I love the actor that plays him. I have always really loved Doctor Strange. And I love the version of Doctor Strange that they have went for. I love the movie that is already out for him. And just the way that they developed his character. Again, I don't think we know much about it. Right, we do know that Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. We do know that she is supposed to be in it. Which is exciting, because apparently she's going to have a big part in the movie. And she was a character that I was so sad about. I thought that they ruined her. I thought that during, everything that she's been in, she hasn't been in much, obviously. I thought that they ruined her. I thought that they did awful with her. She was just a bad character in the movies, but she was a great character before the movies, in the books and everything. So I am very excited for this one. I'm so sorry, but I'm so excited. Like, I will probably see that in theaters. And I do not see a lot of movies in theaters. I do not. Yeah, Scarlet Witch was a great female character that they just ruined. Like, they did nothing with her. Like, she was so underpowered in the movies. She was so underpowered. It sucks. Hey, Annoying. I see no magic on the stream. I have gone to magic once a week. I am doing magic on Thursdays now. I decided to do some more talk streams because a lot of people, like the talk streams, and I like doing them. Especially where there's a lot of topics that I like to talk about that I don't want to make videos on. So I thought it was a good way to kind of talk to people and have a little bit more interactions. She was badass in the books. Oh, yeah. Scarlet Witch was awesome. And I just felt they definitely dropped the ball with her in the movies. I felt like she just sucked. Like, I don't know, I just was not a freaking fan. I was actually hoping that these movies would end. I'm so sick of this superhero bullshit. I completely understand you, Marine. The way that I look at it as is I do think that a lot of these movies should end. I think that this superhero craze is going to come to an end eventually. I do not want them to ruin the characters or their storylines in the process. But I look at it as, if we are going to have these movies and we are going to still have these superhero characters, why not try to enjoy them? Obviously, they're going to continue to do it. But I see it as, if we are going to have characters and movies that pertain to comic characters or whatnot, and all of these, we might as well enjoy them. We might as well. Thor: Love and Thunder. I talked about my thoughts on this yesterday. I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I love all of the past Thor movies. I am not excited to see Jane Foster / Natalie Portman in Thor: Love and Thunder wielding the power of Mjolnir. And you have to consider that there are currently two hammers. So I'm sure that Chris Hemsworth is still going to be in this movie. I am sure that he is still going to have one hammer. I think if they wanted to go for having another character in the MCU that wields the power of Thor, they should have went with Beta Ray Bill. Or if they really wanted to go with a female Thor, or a female that could control the power of Thor, however you want to say it, you guys know what I'm saying. I think they should have went with Sif. Now, we do not know what is going on with Sif right now. Right, Tony, right. But still, they still could potentially bring in the other version of it if they wanted to. They had two at once, so they could, they could always bring in Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. They could bring them both back if they wanted to. That's all I'm saying. They've proven that they were going to do it once. They could do it again. Especially with Loki and whatever he's doing, or second Loki, you should say. I think that no, Tony, I know. But there still could be two people with the power of Thor at once. There still could be, because they've kind of proven that. You just have to be worthy still. It's not like, you get around the rules. I think that, okay, let me regather my thoughts here. We do not know what's going on with Sif right now. Sif is MIA. Now, they confirmed that she is not dead. She is not dead. She's just kind of away in limbo or something. We do not really know what's going on with Sif. If they wanted to make a female Thor, or a female that was worthy, Sif would have been a fucking awesome choice. Because she is a fellow Asgardian. She was an awesome character. She has always been an awesome character. I would have loved to see her be that. Now, I do understand that they are going with the comics and Jane Foster being, worthy. I do get that. But the comic series, like I talked about in yesterday's video, failed. It failed so bad. They killed the character off because they were going to cancel the comic series. So they figured, well, if we're going to end it, or if we're going to cancel it, we might as well just end it. It's so disappointing. I just think that bringing a character like Sif back would have been fucking awesome. She's a great character. The actress is great. I always felt like she had so much more potential. And we did also hear that apparently, Valkyrie is going to be a gay character we don't know if it's going to be this movie or another movie. I think it's going to be in Love and Thunder, because the actress that plays her, Emma Thompson, is that her name? I don't remember. Sorry. She made a statement that, well, if Valkyrie is going to be the king of Azeroth, every king needs their queen, and so we're going to see a gay Valkyrie. I'm going to say what I always say. Is this really important to the story? I do not care if a character is X, Y, or Z. as long as it pertains to their story and it has a reason to be in the story, and it is not just thrown in there needlessly when it does not actually matter. And that is my question. I do not think seeing Valkyrie having a girlfriend, I don't think that matters. I do not think that that pertains to Asgardians and the story and what is going on with Valkyrie and Thor, and I just don't think that pertains to anything in the MCU. Now, if it does, for some bizarre reason, okay, that's fine. But I just do not think it will. Overall, I'm not as excited as I am for Thor, Love and Thunder. I think that it could be okay. Because you have to consider that, obviously they can't go with a direct ripoff of the comic book series because the MCU is so different. It is completely different the comics are completely different than the cinematic universe. So you do have to consider it is going to be slightly different. But I just wish that we weren't going to see a female Jane Foster wielding a hammer. I think my problem with it is, and why I am less excited for it, is because Natalie Portman kind of killed her character for me. She hated doing the Thor movies. She hated being in the cinematic universe for Marvel. She hated it. And she said she was never going to come back, and now suddenly she's all piss and vinegar to do it, probably because she's getting a fat fucking paycheck. But it was just so disappointing to me to hear an actress dislike her character and what she was doing so much. It's just disappointing to see an actor, be that way. So I'm definitely not as excited for Thor Love and Thunder as I could be. But I will give it a chance, like everything. I will give everything a chance, wait until we see, more trailers, more information, what these storylines are going to be like, the details that are going to go into it. All we can really do is see what it is going to turn out to be. So I'm not knocking it because we really do not know a lot about it. But continuing on, the next one is getting into the TV series, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nope, no interest for me. I have zero interest. I have zero interest. And it's not because I do not like both of the characters. I just felt like they are just not good characters in the MCU. When you have, again, all of these outrageous characters, I just do not think that Falcon and Winter Soldier being a team-up will be good. I mean, yes, if they bring in other characters, that would be cool. They might make a badass duo, but I just don't see any story there that I'd be completely interested in and taken by. Falcon is Captain America now? I know, but do we really want to see that? Do we really want to see a Captain America and Winter Soldier show? Falcon, I don't know. I understand why they're doing it. I'm just not as excited for it. WandaVision, I'm slightly excited for. I am excited to see what they do with Scarlet Witch. I do hope that they actually make her good and stop fucking her up. I really, really, really hope that they do better with her, and that she is not as shit as she was. Vision was always an interesting character. And this show also takes place in the 50s, I believe that they said. I think that they said it takes place in the 50s. Let me see. WandaVision. I think that they said year it takes place. I think that they said it was in the 50s. I'm not sure. Yeah, it could take place in the past, so we really don't know a ton about it right now. But I'm slightly excited for it. I do like both of the characters. I just hope that the characters are... I don't know. I just hope that Scarlet Witch, they flesh her out a little bit more. They make her a little bit less shitty, because they ruined her, in my opinion. And I do hope that it turns out to be good. Loki, I am so excited for. I love Loki. Loki is the shit. And it's not the Loki that we knew in a sense, because it's Loki from the past that took the Tezzeret. It's Loki 2. It's not Loki 1, as far as we know. It's Loki 2. Very excited for that. We don't know if Chris Hemsworth or anything will be in it. I'm sure that he will have to make some kind of a guest appearance in it, which would be really awesome. But Loki, I'm excited to see more about it. I think that it'll be damn cool. Very excited for that. What do you guys think about these ones? Which TV show are you most excited for? I'm curious. Different timeline Loki. Yeah, different timeline Loki. Loki 2. It's hard to explain. What if I was slightly... I don't want to say that I'm not excited for it, but I am excited for it. I'm excited because every episode will probably be a different story in a way, but we really don't know what they're going to do with What If. What If is something that they could go a lot of different ways with, and we really do not know a ton about it right now. It will be on Disney Plus as well. They've said, or as far as it says here, all of these characters are going to be a part of it. The Watcher, Peggy Carter, Steve Rogers, Stark Howard. Nope. Howard Stark. I mean, Bucky Barnes, Thanos. It looks like all of these characters are going to be a part of it, which will be cool to see which kind of what-if lines they go for and what they do with it. But I do know that I think that it'll turn out pretty cool. I definitely am not buying into Disney Plus, but What If is definitely a series that I am excited to see what they are going to do with it. I think that it will be super cool. Took the Tezzeret, so that means Thanos didn't snap in that universe? Yeah. That was an Endgame. And then the last show that we know about is Hawkeye. I am not very excited for Hawkeye because I never really liked Hawkeye. My problem with Hawkeye is the same problem that I have with Black Widow, and that is that these are ordinary characters in an extraordinary universe with extraordinary characters. They felt very boring, very bland, but I do think that the actors did the best that they could. Scarlett Johansson, I think that she did the best that they could, as she could with Black Widow, and I do think that Jeremy, the actor that plays Hawkeye, I do think that he did the best that he could with the character. I just always felt like the character was mediocre. I never really cared for it. You know, the bow and arrow archer that we see in many different superhero universes is okay. I still think Green Arrow is slightly better than Hawkeye. Don't hate me. I really like archers too, but I just feel like he never... The thing with, like, Oliver Queen, you know, and him being Green Arrow, is that he was rich, okay? Or, you know... He was, and then he wasn't, you know. He always had such amazing technology, and Hawkeye has technology because he's with the Avengers, obviously. But if he was never with the Avengers, he would have never been Hawkeye, in a sense. He would have never had that technology. And I just feel as though when you're a character that is doing things like Batman, where you don't have any powers, or you are Hawkeye and you are Oliver Queen, you need to be rich. If you don't have any powers, you need to be fucking rich. And he is not rich, and he does not have any powers, and he never had anything amazing to him, in my opinion. But he wasn't always a bad character. The actor did the best that he could, and I understand that. Hawkeye had his special heirs before he was an Avenger, yeah, but what did he do with them? I just feel like he's not as cool as some other characters. He always just felt mediocre. I would replace him with, I don't know, someone cooler. Isn't Green Arrow also married with a kid now? Now, yeah. Hawkeye was a thief? Yeah, a thief. Okay. People in real life are thieves. Boring. I want gods. I want sorcerer supremes. I want, you know, all this cool shit. If I'm going to watch a show about a superhero, or a show about a character that's supposed to be amazing and cool and worthy of all of this life or whatever, I don't want to see an archer. If I wanted to watch archery, I could go to YouTube. It's archery with drama, because then all they did was throw in the drama between him and Black Widow. I don't want big explosions. I like the way that they, you know, look at a character like Loki. He is manipulative. He is evil, and I love that. I'm down with that. If you are going to play a game, play it right. And Hawkeye doesn't have... He's not super intelligent either. He's not rich. He's not super intelligent. He has no equipment that these other characters had. If they had made him, like, evil and manipulative and shit, that would have been so awesome. He could have been... He has so much potential. And Black Widow is a little bit more manipulative, but she's the stereotypical... Oh, I'm manipulative because I've got tits and an ass. I can wear a little cocktail dress and get what I want. I don't like that type of manipulative. I want evil manipulative. That you find out that, I don't know, someone just, like, doomed the earth because because you fell into their trap. I don't know. I always liked Loki just because he wasn't... He's smarter than a lot of these average characters. If I'm going to watch a superhero movie, I don't want to watch a dumb superhero movie. Or a superhero movie that they're pretty average people. And all they do is have drama between other superheroes. I'm just so not into that. I want gods. I want Sorcerer Supremes. So MTG Netflix, I am not excited for that because it's based around Jason Chandra. And, they've already kind of ruined those characters for me a lot of the time. To be fair, that's all about it takes to manipulate men. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it feels mediocre. Again, like Black Widow, like Hawkeye, I will give it a chance. I will definitely give it a chance and see what happens with it. Girls love the bad boys. I love Loki just as much as I love Thor. Doctor Strange isn't a typical bad guy. I love Doctor Strange. I probably like Doctor Strange more than Thor. More than Loki. For me, it would be between Doctor Strange, Loki, and Thor. Like, all three of those are really kind of like my top male characters. For females, honestly, Sif is, like, number one for me. Even though she's not as prominent in the movies, she's always just, like, a neat character. I don't know, I've always really liked her. Going to kind of to DC, I really like Wonder Woman. I like the movie version of Wonder Woman. I really love it. I love what they did with it. I love how she is. Yeah, she's got a little bit of the strong feminine type of character, but that was always Wonder Woman, so I'm okay with it as long as it's not super overdone. What do you think of Ant-Man? I like Ant-Man too. I think Ant-Man, the thing with Ant-Man is I always I know that he is legitimate, but I always kind of see him as more of like that comedic character, because he you know, the actor that plays him in the movies, it feels very comedic. I didn't like Ant-Man 2. That movie was shit. They it was filled with funny humor, but with the whole going for the wasp and like the strong feminine role, that to me was overdone. I didn't like that. I really didn't like that, but I do like Ant-Man. I think that he's cool. I really like these stories that they go with Ant-Man, because he's always in a pickle. But the thing is that he's always got the downside. His technology is broken. He doesn't know how to use something. He's not as smart as his enemy. Like, he usually had something that was kind of like a downside, like something that would be, but he always pulls it out in the end. He always pulls through, and I really like that about Ant-Man. It's just the way that they wrote his character, and I've always really liked that. John Wick is trash and overrated. I mean, it might be a little bit overrated, but I definitely don't think John Wick is trash. The character that plays Scott Lang is pretty good, I think. Yeah, I think that the actor that plays him is... I think that the actor that plays Ant-Man is really good. I think that he really did a good job between having to have a serious nature to him, yet having that comedic value and having that lightheartedness that the character has had. I just think that he did a very fantastic job at playing him, and obviously it doesn't look like there's any plans right now. I do know that these are a lot of movies that are within the next 2 years, but after that we also have a lot of movies that are supposed to be coming out. We're supposed to be having Captain Marvel 2. We were supposed to be seeing another Ant-Man movie, but I think this Ant-Man movie has to do with another character. There are a lot of movies that, are not on this list because they're not coming out within the next 2 years. But I feel like for now, for Phase 3 is looking okay. I do want to say that I feel like a lot of this, though, is going to be a flop, in my opinion. I do not think Black Widow will do good. I do not think Legend of the Ten Rings will do good, because he's not already an established character, really, in the movies. He's kind of newer. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't think it's going to be a good TV show. And Hawkeye, I don't think it's going to be a good TV show. WandaVision could be okay if they do it right. What If? I think out of all of these, What If is going to be the best TV show between Loki. I think that Loki is going to be great and phenomenal as well. And for movies, I think that Doctor Strange is number 1, Eternals is number 2, Thor is number 3. I don't want to say that, but I am going to say that. Black Widow 4, and Legend of the Ten Rings is 5. Silver Surfer? Oh no. Hulk, Doctor Strange. I mean, Defenders would be cool to see. There's definitely so many things that I think would be cool. Definitely. I do know that we'll probably see, or that we will see Hulk and Bruce Banner in What If, because I know that, I don't know how they're going to do What If yet. I don't know if they're going to do, like, individual episodes that are going to be completely different, or if they're going to have maybe, like, a general storyline where characters are different. Who knows? What If it's gonna walk a line with plots? Yeah, I'm excited for it, though. Farrah, how do you feel about Doctor Strange being pushed aside for the face of the MCU for Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel is not the face of the MCU. I definitely would not say that. I do not think that she is the face of the MCU at all. They have another movie for her planned in a couple of years, but she is not signed for it yet. They could throw that out the window. I don't think that she's the face of the MCU. Yes, they tried to push her, but I don't think I would specify her as the face of the MCU. I think that if they're going for a face of the MCU, it will be Jane Foster. I think that that is what they're going for. I don't think that's much better, but I think that Jane Foster / Natalie Portman will try to go for that with the face of the MCU, which sucks because I'm not excited for that specifically. Like what they're doing in that story. Another movie that we will be seeing after this is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is fairly exciting. That will be cool as well. Spider-Man, yeah, Spider-Man, we'll see him again soon. The studio has said Captain Marvel is the face. Well, they've done nothing to promote her as the face then. Yeah, yeah, they tried to make her the face, but Larson killed it. Spooderman. I like Spider-Man. I do think that the actor that plays Spider-Man, I do think that he does a good job. I do. I really like him. I do not like a lot of the supporting characters that you know, are going on with Spider-Man. I just don't like it. I wasn't really a fan. I do like him, though. I do like Tom Holland. I think that he's pretty damn good. I think he's done a great job so far. Also, because I haven't said it, thank you guys for sticking around. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here for stream. I just wanted to say that really quickly. You know, second talk stream. Glad so many of you are interested in the talk streams, and you know what I discuss usually. It's good to see you guys around. Be able to talk to you guys and get your opinions on things, and also voice my opinions on some things. I do quite appreciate it. They already said next Avengers 2 will be built around Captain Marvel. So even though they have said these things, there's still a lot of room, and we might not see that. Yeah. The thing is that they've said that, but they haven't talked about Captain Marvel at all because Brie Larson. I enjoy the dialogue, Vera Lady. It's a good. I'm glad that it's a good. Glad that you enjoy. Vera only likes white characters. Oh, don't start that. Don't start that. No. We will see. They might. And yeah, probably make her the lead in the next Avengers movie. But other than that, I bet we don't see much of her. We really don't know much about Captain Marvel. They want to push her, obviously, but I think my money is on the fact that they're going to push female Thor more. I think that she is going to be the face of the MCU. Marvel, just give us Spider-Man as the new face of MCU. I don't want Spider-Man as the face of MCU. I definitely don't want that. I think Spider-Man's cool, and what they've done with Spider-Man is cool. Do I really want Spider-Man as the face? Honestly, I'm still very worried about Iron Man. I am still very worried that they are going to pull an Ironheart. That they are going to go with the Ironheart character and Ironheart story. And that, that's going to be another female-esque thing as well. Hawkeye for face of MCU? Oh, no, please. Oh, please, no. Glad to be here hanging out with you and everyone else. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying hanging out. Read my comment. It's funny. I don't see a comment. Last comment from you I see is Spider-Man. Wow, that was a good comment. Ironheart, should I be fearful? Ironheart was a character that they had made after Tony Stark fought Captain Marvel and he was in a coma. And a female character, I believe that she was like an older teenager to younger 20s. I think that she was younger. Yeah, she was like a teenager, I think. She decided to take on the role of Iron Man and call herself Ironheart. And it was a female character, and she had an AI version of Tony Stark that was guiding her and helping her. But they went with the storyline. She made a bigger and better suit, like she was better than Iron Man and stuff, and people didn't buy that either. I'm tired of your mods deleting my comments. Comments are deleted when they are, like, specific comments are deleted. And it's not just mods. I mean, I remove comments too if I have to. Yeah, I think, yes, she was a younger teenager. Williams was... Beep, boop, boop, beep. She was created in 2015. She was, yeah, accepted into MIT at 15. So yeah, she was like a 15-year-old character. She was a 15-year-old character. She wasn't a badly written character. I just did not like... I did like her. She wasn't awfully written. She was an okay character. My problem is that they went with, she was better than Tony Stark. She made a better suit than Tony Stark. She was, like, smarter yet not smarter than Tony Stark, and that was my problem. Definitely that was my problem. I do not like when they try to say, oh, we've established this character over 50 years that's, like, the best at what they do, and then suddenly, like, it's like, oh, a 15-year-old just, like, bam, I'm, like, double better than Tony Stark and stuff. I don't like that. Respect your elders, okay? It's probably Grim, he doesn't like me. I think everyone here likes each other. It wasn't me, I was preoccupied. Fair enough. Shuri in the MCU is the smartest character. Shuri is not the smartest character, but I do really like Shuri. I really like her. I think that she was awesome. I think that she was badass. I think that she was just cool to have around. She's not the smartest character. I would not say... I know that they tried to play that off for a while. They tried to play it off that way. I think that they said that she wasn't. I mean, it's kind of the same with them saying Captain Marvel's the strongest character in the MCU. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, she fucking is. Even though she gets punched in the face by Thanos once and she's down for the rest of the fight. I think that she was a cool character. And I definitely hope that, you know, she's a character that sticks around that we see a lot more of. I don't think that she was actually bad. I think that Shuri was actually pretty cool. I didn't think that she was awful. I felt like she was kind of put on a pedestal because they wanted that diverse female character that was super smart. But I don't think that Shuri's a bad character. Shuri talked down to Banner and rebuilt Vision even better than Tony and Banner could. She has a lot of aspects to her that are very cool. I know that you guys think that, but I didn't think that she was an awful character. I mean, that's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I wouldn't mind seeing her in another movie, though. I wouldn't mind seeing her, like, teaming up with, like, well, I'd say Tony, but we know how that is. And Bruce. I think that it'd be cool to see more of her. I just wish that she was not kind of, like, instantly, like, this amazing, fantastic character, even though we didn't know who she was. You know, that's just the way that I see it, though. Hey Craig, how are you doing? I hope that you're having a fantastic night. We were just talking about MCU a little bit, but I do think that we are going to shift gears, and I do think that we are going to talk about Nintendo Switch a little bit. I did want to talk about the Switch revisions a little bit, because I wanted to rant for a minute. Maybe we will see her in What If. I'm not sure. We might. I don't know if she was on that list, though. So yes, in August, there is a new model of the Nintendo Switch releasing. It is just going to be the base Nintendo Switch. They are going to... Oh, this makes me angry. There's a new Nintendo Switch revision. And not a lot has changed with it. They announced it like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and the only thing that is different, or the main thing that is different, is the battery. Now, this is going to be the same exact price as the normal Switch. It's not like a Switch Pro or anything like people were expecting. But if you... So there was there were no kind of hints towards this happening, besides people speculating that there would be a new Nintendo Switch version, and new revisions and stuff. Besides the speculation, there was nothing. So if you have bought a Nintendo Switch within the past 4 or 5 months, get wrecked. If you own a Nintendo Switch that has come out, get wrecked, in a sense. Because they're putting a new battery in it. Now, the battery life of the Switch now is 2.5 to 3.5 hours. In this new revision of the Switch, this is the new packaging, even though it's like the same exact thing, will be 2.5 to 6.5 hours, which is my bad. The original one is 2.5 to 6.5 hours, which is not true. It never goes 6.5 hours, like, no matter what you're playing. The new one is 4.5 to 9 hours. Sorry, I said that wrong before. That is a large difference. And the new light that is coming out, the light version is even better than the base version and the Nintendo Switch that has been on the market for the past couple of years. It does seem like a wide range, but when you are going from 2.5 to 6.5, from 4.5 to 9 hours, that is a huge difference. And they have not said that if you own a Nintendo Switch yet, they are going to do anything to replace the ones that you own. So, like, my Nintendo Switch is obviously an older version. They have not said that they are going to allow people to send in their Switches and get the battery replaced for free. If they do not replace people's batteries for free, people that own Nintendo Switches are going to be pissed. I agree too. I think that it's bad too. I think that they should offer a replacement battery for people that want it. Because you know what? This is a $299 system that is significantly less strong than the competitors. You have to look at, like, the PlayStation and the Xbox. The battery life is so awful on the Nintendo Switch that is now. It is just... It makes me even angry that they are kind of saying screw you if you already own a Nintendo Switch. And not, they haven't even really said anything on it. They just kind of announced it and said, oh yeah, we're making a small revision. And I get it that, you know, the screen's not different, the joysticks aren't different, nothing is different besides the battery life. But when the battery life is what the console revolves around, that is important. I am, in a sense, upset in a way. I don't want to say upset, but I am disappointed that they didn't just go with a pro version and redo the screen and the joysticks, you know, the battery. That they're telling people now, if you had just waited 2 years, you could have gotten a better version of the Switch. Yeah, the Tegra is a new revision, I believe. Yeah, it's just an upgraded version of the Tegra X1 chip. And it's apparent... So it's kind of confusing because they said that it was the same one that is in the Nintendo Switch Lite, but the Nintendo Switch Lite is saying that it is a different battery or something like that. It's very confusing because they didn't actually announce this, besides the fact that they posted on their website that it is going to be, receiving a revision. They didn't actually, like, announce it at all, like in a classic way. Also, hello, Richard. How are you doing? Hello, Sonic. How are you guys doing? I hope that everyone's doing good. But yeah, that was just I think that it's good that they are fixing the battery, because the battery was a problem. The one downside with the Switches is if you are playing it portable, you can really only play a couple of hours of it. You can only play like 3 hours of it playing something like Mario. I bring my Nintendo Switch a lot of places. I bring it to the doctors a lot. I bring it, you know, anywhere that I'm really going. I bring it everywhere with me. And it does not last. And I think that it's awesome that they're changing it and they're making it better, but they do need to respect the consumers that have already purchased a Nintendo Switch within the past couple of years that it has been out, and they need to offer free battery replacement for them. I'm going to say, I think that they're not going to. I think that that would be a lot of work for them. I think that that is not what they are interested in doing. But it would be nice to see that. So buy a Switch this Christmas? Yes, buy a Switch this Christmas. That's what I would say. Do you ever go 1v1 with other people at the doctor's office? Usually the doctor's offices that I don't go to, I don't run into people with Nintendo Switches. But if I saw someone with a Nintendo Switch, I would challenge them to a duel. If that's what you mean by 1v1 with other people, I would challenge them to a duel. for their life. And if they lost, I'd send them to the Shadow Realm. Not with the controller drift still being an issue there. That is also another thing, is the controller drift. I have personally, you can hand them a Joy-Con. I don't play multiplayer games. What are you talking about? I play like I play like Mario Odyssey and stuff. Come on. Vera loves Tetris 99. I am shit at Tetris 99. I'm sorry. I am not equipped to play Tetris 99. I am not. I'm so sorry. But every time I lose at Tetris 99, everyone needs to donate me $1. I'd be rich. I would be rich in seconds. There is the problem with the controller drift. I personally have not experienced drift issues with my Switch, and I know many people that have not experienced issues with the drift. But I do know that it is a problem, and there is actually a lawsuit against Nintendo right now for the drift issues, so it will be interesting to see what happens with that. If Nintendo did make a statement on it, but their statement was just their statement was, we're looking into it, but you are free to email us and send your Nintendo Switch in and, like, find out if you can, like, get your Nintendo Switch fixed. That is the only thing that they said was, send us an email and maybe we can fix it for you, practically. So who knows what is going to happen about that. Here, the statement is actually right here. They said, at Nintendo, we take great pride in creating quality products, and we are continuously making improvements to them. We are aware of the recent reports that some Joy-Con controllers are not responding correctly. That is the issue. We want our consumers to have fun with the Nintendo Switch, and if anything falls short of this goal, we always encourage them to visit Nintendo support so we can help. And then they did say, I think that it was on Twitter, that if you are having a problem, right, they led it to this, email them, and possibly they can fix it, or they can look into the issue. And they are also still kind of seeing the spectrum of the issue and how many people are having this issue. So that is something to keep in mind. Vera, are you getting the Yu-Gi-Oh for Switch? Probably not. Okay, guys and Vera, I'm heading out. Have a fantastic night, Tony. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I've never had any problems, but I broke a stupid piece of plastic on my Joy-Con and it wouldn't lock into the Switch anymore, so I bought another set. It sucks that Nintendo Switch, items and hardware is so expensive. Believe me, I know. I had a Power A controller, I think that it's called, and it sucks. It broke. And now I need to buy a Pro controller, but they're like $60. And I hate that. They're so expensive, but I do need to. Guys, feel free to donate towards my Pro controller. I'm kidding. So do you have an older model Switch, Vera? Is that why you're so nettled about the battery in the model? I mean, anyone that has bought a Nintendo Switch within the past couple of years of being out is kind of getting screwed over. I mean, that's the way that I see it. I do have a Nintendo Switch. I got it, I think it was about 5 or 6 months after it launched. I think that it was right around then. Corded Pro controllers. I need a cordless. I have lions that eat cords, and I'm not willing to have a cord eaten, so I just need to buy the $60 Pro controller that's cordless. Fun. It would be worth it in the long run. I mean, anyone, even if you bought a Nintendo Switch a month ago, or 2 months ago, do you think that you would be okay with that? I personally would be livid if I had bought a Nintendo Switch within the past 2 or 3 months, that now it's not a good version of it, and they're offering for the same exact price, nothing different, a new version of it. It just is a shame that they didn't talk about it at maybe E3 or something and say, there will be new Switch revisions soon. Grizzly, how are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic night. Hello, Butterfingers. Wow. I feel like that's insulting someone, but that's your username, so I'm not insulting you. Darn lions. Yeah, my lions eat all of my cords, so I just need to spend the $60 and buy a Switch Pro controller. But $60 doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. Like, $60 is a lot when you have to like buy new games, buy subscriptions to things, fix things. I just had to buy a new power cord for my Nintendo Switch because my lions ate it, and that was like $30. You know, buying games. So it all adds up. It definitely does. Especially when you have multiple hobbies and multiple games and stuff. $60 is a fourth of my last paycheck. It's better than nothing. $60 is a lot when all the fucking R3. I don't know what that means exactly, but I believe you. I believe you. I have 4 fur monsters. None of them touch my cords. They know better. I have 2 lions, and let's just say they think everything is a toy. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, $60 realistically isn't a lot, but you know, it adds up. 7, not R3. I was going to say 7. I was going to say R3. What is R3? But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like as an average consumer, being told, well, your Nintendo Switch now is not the good version of it, and if you had waited months or years, you could have gotten a better one for the same exact price. It's kind of like a slap in the face to consumers, you know? I don't know. I suppose people have to see what happens.
Here, this is for your Pro controller.
Thank you, Richard, for the $60 donation to go towards my Pro controller. I very much so appreciate it. You definitely did not have to do that. But thank you for the $60 donation. It will go towards a Nintendo Switch controller. I do quite appreciate that. Thank you for donating. You are the top dominator. You are the top donator. And now Grizzly gets wrecked because he's not the top dominator. Grizzly, you're getting pushed out. When balancing school, a part-time job, and gaming, 60 is a lot. And that's also understandable because when you're... So I buy games for an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Nintendo Switch, and a lot of that money that I have, a lot of the extra money goes towards the stream and the YouTube channel, you know. I've had to replace my headphones quite a few times. Saving towards, you know, upgrades towards the PC, making sure I have new games to play when they come out, stuff like that. You know, but it all definitely adds up. He's the top dominator of the stream. Grizzly Mute Richard. Who the hell is Richard? I'm lifetime top donator. Are you though? Are you though? But thank you for the donation, friend. I really do appreciate it. Well, just trying to help her out, buddy. I do appreciate it though. And I wanted to talk about one more thing on stream. This will probably be the last article for the night, maybe. Not sure, depending on how many more things you guys want me to talk about. But the Google Stadia. Now, I think that the Google Stadia is trash. It's going to be trash and it's not going to go anywhere. I say this because the Google Stadia is not a console, which is perfectly fine. He's teasing, I'm betting. Oh, he is. Grizzly acts cocky, even though he's not. The games are full price, so you have to buy $60 games for this Google Stadia. And, they practically said, now this is the article that we're going to read, that if the Stadia dies, well, that sucks for you. This is an article on One Angry Gamer, and it reads, where does it say? So he's the writer, Ethan, he's written some good articles before, goes on to talk about kind of the past of Google and all of the things and the projects that they have tried, and he's right. He says that there's over 150 different things that they've tried that went to shit, and they did. But what one of the people that works on the Stadia said is that we get this a lot. I hear you moving to the cloud is scary. I felt the same way when music was transitioning from files to streaming. I still have all my old CDs in the garage, although it's hard to find a CD player these days. Oh yeah, sure it is. Sure. The same happened to movies and photos and my docs and other files. Yes, we know this. And it's great, games are no different. Eventually all of our games will be safely in the cloud too, and we'll feel great about it. We've been investing a ton in tech, infrastructure, and partnerships over the past few years. Nothing in life is certain, but we're committed to making Stadia a success. The games you buy on Stadia are yours to play. From day one, we'll support takeout so that you can download your game's metadata, including saves if you want to. Just because you have the metadata and these saves, if their servers are down and the Stadia is dead and you own 5,000 games on it, let's say, those saves mean nothing because you cannot put those saves to the Xbox, to the PlayStation, to the PC. Those saves are completely useless. They're completely useless. So they're saying, if it dies, I mean, you get the saves. The saves don't mean anything if there's no servers, if it's dead. They keep making awful statements about the Stadia, and my thing is that I don't believe in the Stadia. The saves! I don't think the idea for the Stadia is kind of the worst. But I do not think it is the best, and I do not think that it is going to sell. Vera and her boob mouse pads. Oh yeah, I should buy one. I should actually buy one of these. Ooh, Tifa. Hi. What, you couldn't find this page? Brandy meet the dogs of Amazon? What the hell? Fake advertising? What the hell? You can't even buy a boob mouse pad? That's a butt. I don't want a butt. I want boobs. I'm not really into any of these ones. I mean, that one's not bad. I could buy a Dark Magician Girl one. Okay, back to the point. Fake news. The saves. And then a Reddit user on the Ask Me Anything on Reddit says that this whole AMA reeks of advertising. The dude skirts around the question and gives non-answers to everything. If anything, he has made me even less interested in the Stadia than before. What happens when Google terminates the service? And that's exactly what they said. People are asking what happens when if Google ever terminates the Stadia service, and all they have said is that they won't, or they don't plan on it. Well, if something doesn't work out and you are losing money, you're going to shut it down, just like you've shut down all of the other failed Google projects. So saying LOL it won't, saying that they won't and they're committed to it, but you'll be able to keep your saves is pointless. We were talking about the Stadia and how they've said, how people are asking if Google terminates the Stadia service, what's going to happen? And they said, oh, you'll be fine. We won't ever turn it offline and you get to keep your saves. Oh, and yes, I was also looking at the boob mouse pads. But yeah, all they've said is, well, you get to keep your saves. That is useless. That is so useless. Oh, and just so you know, those boob mouse pads are like $30 each. They are expensive. Like, they're not cheap. They are not cheap. GOG forever. I love GOG. I agree. I think GOG is great and GOG is fantastic. They are DRM free. They give people the most options for what they are paying for, and I 100% love GOG. If I could go to one platform, it would be GOG. And when GOG finally puts GOG Galaxy 2.0 into the system and everyone can use it, I will definitely be using that as my main hub for games. Now, I do purchase anything that I can on GOG. I have always put all of my money towards GOG if I can. You know, a lot of games aren't available on GOG, but I do really love GOG. I think that it's great. Also, hello, Carl. I hope you're having a good night. You are catching the end of stream like you usually do. I'll still be on a little bit longer, but yeah, I definitely think that the Stadia just is not there. It is not it for me. It just is not it. What was that Forbes article that Grimm had linked? This is porn, Grimm. You're gonna be in trouble. It's not. $30? Yeah, $30 for a boob mouse pad. I don't know, seems a little expensive, but it's fine. I wish that I had an archive to this because I really don't want to have Forbes up, but we'll survive. Like Xbox Live Gold, Google and Stadia sounds worse and worse every day. It does! It sounds worse every single day. $30 for a new mousepad or $60 for the Pro Controller? Which should we buy first? Yeah, guys, vote. 1 for boob mousepad, 2 for Pro Controller. Google Stadia continues to be one of the great mysteries in gaming, and even if the tech giant is throwing its full weight behind it, it's not clear if it is going to be the next Gmail or next Google Glass. I do not think that this is going to turn out well for Google, but okay. At the moment, with every new bit of info that comes out, my needle keeps tilting me more and more towards Glass. I agree. I think with every statement that they have made very, very poor and very, very awful statements about the Stadia. I think that the Stadia is not turning out good. I think that they rushed it. So I think that they have a decent idea for it, but I feel like they rushed it. And I think that the draw with Stadia, for me at least, was going to be if the games were cheaper. I think on the Stadia, the games should have been like $30, and that is not the case. These games are going to be $60, and they even said that games are worth more than $60 on the Stadia because you can bring them anywhere. You can put them on your phone, you can put them on your TV, on your computer, whatever. I think that is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. This is a statement that they actually made. To be clear, Stadia Pro is not Netflix for games, like some people have mentioned. A closer comparison would be like Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus. The Pro subscribers get 4K/HDR streaming, 5.1 sound, exclusive discounts, and access to some free games, roughly 1 free game per month, give or take, starting with Destiny 2. Destiny 2? That is your draw with the Stadia? Destiny 2? The game you can buy for $10 whole dollars? Destiny 2, boys. The game that you got for free a couple of months ago on PC. Destiny 2. My thing with the Stadia, what I do not like about it is that they are charging you a subscription for better accessibility. They are charging you $15 a month for 4K, $15 a month for a better sound, $15 a month for some discounts. I think that is shit. I think that they should not be charging you money to have what other consoles offer you. And I get it. You don't have to pay for $500 for a brand new console. I completely understand that price is eliminated, but you still have to pay $125 because you need the actual Stadia stick. You actually need that, and you also need the subscription, which, yes, they have a free version, but it's really not that good, and you need to pay at least the $15 a month for that subscription. And yes, you do pay for that on the PlayStation or the Xbox, whatever, Nintendo Switch, even though Nintendo Switch is a ton cheaper. It's still the fact that they're charging you for accessibility. I think that is bull. I do not like that. I do not agree with that. It's $10 a month? It might be. It might be. Actually, yeah. Yeah, it's $10. You are right. You are right. But yeah, I just do not like it. I think that it's, I don't know. The stick is the Chromecast Ultra. You do need a Chromecast Ultra. That is what it is. Companies need better research with this kind of stuff. I agree. I think that they definitely felt like, it feels like they rushed it. The assumption was indeed to start on the Google Stadia would be some new stab at a Netflix for games, similar to the Xbox Game Pass or Uplay Plus, which offers many games. But that is not what they're doing. The Google Stadia is not that. Slowly building up a tiny free arsenal of titles one at a time. One free game a month. One. The draw is that you don't need a console hardware, but yeah, you need... Yeah, you need a controller, which is $70, I think the controller's $69.99 or $59. I think it's $69. I think it's... Wait, what's the controller price? It's not that expensive, but it's still, you know, a controller. It's still fairly high priced. And you need to purchase the games, which are full $60 price when you don't physically own them. And you still have to pay a subscription. You need the Chromecast Ultra, so if your Chromecast breaks, you need to buy it again. And it's a little type of USB stick in a way. So if it breaks, which it can break very easily, it's going to be bad. It wants to compare itself to Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, yet at $120 a year for the 4K streaming tier, it's effectively twice the price. Exactly. They're going with no hardware, but you still need to buy the Chromecast Ultra, which is $125. You need to buy a $60 controller. You need to buy $60 games. It's so expensive. It's not actually worth it in a sense. I'm sorry. It's just not. I mean, the rest of the article just goes on to explain that. Yeah, just said, so if it's not for the hardcore gamers and it can't be built, if it can't be built that bridge to most casuals, what is Stadia even going for? I agree. Who are they marketing this towards? A casual gamer? They've said that they don't want to market it towards casual players, yet not competitive players. So who are they actually trying to market this towards? It finishes up with, the more I hear about Stadia, the less confident I am it's going to be anything close to the game changer for the industry Google is pitching it at. As we'll know more when it launches in full, but for now, it remains confounding. I agree. This is a good article. It's not a very bad article. It just sums up all of the things with Google Stadia that we know. I will never put my money towards the Google Stadia, honestly. I don't think that it's going to get off the ground. I think that, yes, they might have good initial sales, but I think that it is going to be bad. I do not think that it is going to sell. They're not marketing it properly. If this was a $125 Chromecast with a $60 controller, and you could buy the bundle for $120, and maybe even pay the $10 a month, and the games were half the price, I would be down for that. I think that that would be a ton better, because it's not a physical game. I think that physical games, okay, they can be $60, but I do not think a non-physical game should be $60. I think that they should be $40, maybe $30. I do not agree with digital games that you do not own, that if you get banned, you cannot actually own it anymore. I just do not agree with that. I think that they should be cheaper. Just think that they should be cheaper. So I think that was the last article of the night, you guys. I am going to hang out for a couple more minutes and just chat with you guys if you have anything else you wanted to talk about. So yeah, we talked about Phase 4 with Marvel. We talked about the arson attack on Kyoto Animations. Sad and very tragic. Blizzard co-founder. Again, a second one leaving. Now there's only one left. The Nintendo Switch revisions. We talked about the Stadia, and we talked about Tencent developing a new Pokemon game. Yeah. It was a pretty eventful night. Of course, next week on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing another talk stream, so if you guys do like these talk streams, definitely come back next Monday. For sure. It will be very fun. $20, I want them to be $20. I think that a non-physical game, like a digital game, should be cheaper. Will there be a stream for the new extra types of MTG boosters, or have I missed that one? What do you mean? Thursday, when I stream Magic, we will talk about Throne of Eldraine and all of the new products. Also, yes, Titan's Table next week, we will also be talking about that as well. So if you want, like, my opinion on it, I'll talk about it on Thursday. And if you want kind of Asphera, Grim, Eric, and my opinions on it, then we definitely will be talking about it next week on Titan's Table. For sure. The exiting founders are going to form their own company with some of the laid-off employees. Just wait. If they do that, Drew, that would be interesting to see. Barrett, did you hear about the Japanese politician that said he's going to battle for censorship in games? I did. I will probably talk about that tomorrow in a video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I will probably talk about that tomorrow, since I was going to talk about it on stream, but I do have some thoughts that I do want to put in a video. So I'll probably discuss that tomorrow, for sure. If Sega skipped the Saturn and the Dreamcast would have been way more successful. You think so? If Sega? Would be interesting. Next Blizzard game will have blackjack and hookers. I would be okay with that. I mean, it'd be cool. So, like a Grand Theft Auto? Like, that's what you're saying? Give me a new RTS like Warcraft 3. I feel like the RTS scene kind of is a little bit less focused on right now. People aren't focusing on it as much. Right now, at least. It would be interesting to see, though. I think Grizzly, Bear's Echo. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes that happens. Is it fixed now? Bear equals God? Sorry, guys. Sometimes that happens. You think so? If I will probably talk about that tomorrow in a video. So is it fixed? Keep your eyes peeled for that. I think it should be fixed. Is it fixed? You guys have to tell me. You guys aren't telling me. I don't know if it's fixed or not. She's reverting to her robot voice. The Echo is kind of sexy. Oh, great. Great. The Echo's sexy. Echo's fixed? Good, good. Sometimes, guys, my robot voice turns on. Barry equals God. Hey, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Sometimes it happens. You're good, good. But yeah, I think that was all of the topics that we wanted to talk about today. So yeah, next talk stream will be next Monday. I think that I'm going to keep them on Monday, because Monday seems like a good day for you guys. You guys seem pretty interested in hanging out on Mondays. I could also consider Thursdays, but I will be keeping Magic on Thursdays for now, and video games on Saturdays, per usual. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be talking about the Japanese politician, probably. Your robot voice turns on. Who? Very strange doctor. Carl has been inside. McDonald's finally banned you from siphoning their Wi-Fi? Maybe. Who knows? Carl is not around quite a lot anymore, but that's perfectly fine. You know, everyone has life, and life gets busy sometimes. But, alright, you guys, I am going to head off for the night. Thank you so much, Richard, for your donation tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. More echo. Is there more echo? Don't tell me there's more echo. Is there more echo? Here, is it fixed? All right. Well, Vera said it's okay if I'm not here. Well, life is life, and sometimes it happens. More like reverb, might be just me. Well, we're ending stream anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Vera robot voice left me butterflies inside. Oh, great. I didn't know that the robot voice turned you guys on so much. I'll have to get a robot filter for every time you guys donate. I'll do robot voice because apparently you like it. But, oh, wow, okay. But yeah, I am going to head out for the night, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out the past couple of hours during stream. I do very much so appreciate it. Next talk stream will be next Monday, at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be in Discord for the rest of the night if you guys do want to hang out and chat. But I do appreciate it, and have a fantastic night, everyone. I will talk to you guys later.